this, whatever you do there, and then you can accent. If you said, I love the idea of using like the quartzite, or I'd love to use a little bit of travertine, then you reintroduce it in the house on a fireplace, on a beam, something, so that the wood floor ties in. The wood floor makes total sense. But you know, the neat thing about it is you could do a fireplace, put the travertine on the fireplace, kind of a rough travertine, and then use it out here. Right. Same thing with the quartzite. I would do a stone up here, and then what I like about it is, so this is all going to be a stone, whether it be a random or whether it be like a 24 by 24. Step down here and then down. So this comes out, and what I would do down below is this would be a patio, a lower patio out here, half circle patio with maybe some seat walls. Not huge, but that you could sit down. And the neat thing about it is, if you're sitting at this level, you would see the sheet of water coming down into this lower pool, which would be great. Seat walls here, and this is a nice little conversation area you can talk to, so the back of the house looks really pretty. Okay. Then you're down to this level, and then you can do the grass area, you can do the walkway to the shed area. I would probably, depending on what I would love to see you do is, I'd like to take this area here, interest in a garden.
Yeah, well, you do want to have room for maybe our trailer and a family's RV to live here for a little bit.
That needs to go all on that side. Basically what you want to do, your worst views are right there.
Okay.
Your best views are right here. So what I'm thinking is, if you were dividing it up, that doesn't mean that you have to look at it. What's neat is if you bring everything out here that's gorgeous, this is at a lower level, as I said, with grass. You take that area, whether you say, you know what, we like the rural quality, we're going to do like a picket fence and do a vegetable garden in there, and along the chain link fence we're going to do fruit trees. This is going to be and the shop is going to be more of a shop, but it also is going to have the feeling of, maybe we put a little cupola on there with a weather vane. We make that like a garden, like the garden house, and then this is a perfect area for the garden. Or if you said we want it more refined, you do raised planters, a low fence there. I would definitely do fruit trees along that side.
So you wouldn't put the RV and that kind of stuff with the shop?
No, because you'd look at it. I mean, to me, what would be beautiful is I want to get rid of this hedge, the things that I want to remove but reuse, and I don't want them killed. Rose of Sharon needs to be dug up and reused. Crepe myrtle needs to be dug up and reused. Some of these plants are beautiful. I want them dug up in the wintertime when they're dormant and moved in the property. What I like is, that can be really, really cool. You put a new little door on that, paint that out. In fact, what I would do is, depending on what you want, what color you decide on, even if it stays the same color, just kind of clean it up. If you were to put underneath that window, you did Shasta daisies and hollyhocks, you know, making it more of a country thing. If you can imagine, I see it. If I could see a low white picket fence with climbing roses here, this whole area in vegetables, you know, fruit trees along the edge there, make it pretty. Then I would take that whole area, put behind your garage. Right. So if your garage is here, you come in this way. I would also take this whole area here, kind of, and you can you could drive into the garage, or you could put an RV. And what I would do is, if your patio is coming to say, so if the patio actually came to say here, and then the garage is there, what I would do is, between this pool area, so like maybe the pool area comes right to here, I would do either a raised planter here or a full hedge here. If you could imagine that hedge though here, so that all of this area, say about from here on, becomes storage, RV parking, whatever you want, and everything. And what you're doing is, on this side, you're planting hedge of trees or something, so you're not seeing all of that. Because it makes sense. If you're coming in this way, if you're coming in That's your
Yeah.
street, isn't it? So if you come in this way, it would be neat. You can pull into the garage. You can pull around the garage. Park your RV there. This whole area, because the worst view, if you say, okay, we're going to do a throwaway area, and it's not a
Right.
throwaway area, but from that pole
Right.
across here, this is not part of the beauty area. This is just going to be screened out. This is what we're eventually going to use. In fact, we're going to take some of the fruit trees, we might dig them up and move them over there. We're going to make this area, or we don't need that much space. You know, we can leave the fruit trees, plant some more, and you take this area from the pole in for more storage.
Part of my thinking was you need a lot of turnaround time for
Yeah.
an RV, but also need concrete for a basketball thing.
Right.
So maybe dual use for that? or no?
Exactly. But what I'm thinking is that area should be, because again, standing here looking over there, that's really pretty. You've got fruit trees over there. It's much more rural. You don't have a house you're looking at.
Right.
So that's a really pretty view. This, on the other hand, is not so pretty. Two-story house here with a balcony, all these things here.
Right.
So this is the view that you can stand to lose. That, if you put a picket fence, you put vegetables there, you put fruit trees, when you stand here, you could be anywhere. Any country, anywhere, because it's there's no houses there, nor is there going to be a house there. It's just a really beautiful environment. So it's that kind of concept that you make the most. That way you've got, and then this open area would be grass. You'd start planting some more trees back there so you don't, and I'd bring my trees, my evergreen trees, in front of the, like maybe 15 feet in front of the wires, and then plant maybe some cedars, deodar cedars, maybe some atlas cedars in there, maybe 1 or 2 redwoods in there, keeping that a whole evergreen screen so you don't see behind that.
Right.
But you've kind of, what you've done is you've compartmentalized. So the idea,
And the rest is grass?
yeah, and
She wants the dogs to be able to run around a lot.
exactly. So you have a big, my feeling is that you have a huge, I envision that the grass area is from, say, right where this posts are, you're going to have some sort of a screen. But the grass area is going to be this whole center thing. The dogs can run around. If you wanted to play volleyball, you could. If you want to play, let's say, for example, kids came over and wanted to play soccer. I mean, this is a great area.
What kind of grass would you use, Michael? Would you use the meadow?
I would, no. I would actually use like a tall fescue, a hardy grass that they can actually use.
Right.
You'd get a riding mower that you'd keep in there, and you just,
Okay.
that would be the one area that you'd have a big grass area. So it's like a gigantic park.
Okay.
And to me, the thing that's neat about that is, if you have the pool elevated, and then you have if you have the pool elevated, the infinity edge, the lower patio there, the lower patio is going to feed right into the grass area, so you can sit out there, and I mean, it'll be amazing. Plus, the thing that I like about it is, now you're going to be elevated, you're going to be looking into a big park setting of grass. You're not going to see anything over there, so it's going to give you unlimited amounts of privacy.
So screen of shrubs.
Shrubs,
hedges.
you could say, well, what's the fastest growing? You could do privets, or you could do black stem pittosporum.
Our last house, we did bay laurel.
I was just going to say, bay laurels would be amazing.
And it was green year round.
Yep, I would do
was
that,
awesome.
and that's how I would lay this place out, so that you've got master bedroom feeds into the loggia.